everyone, Andrew Oaktree here, and today I'll be telling you why you shouldn't move to Portugal. Now, before I start this video, I'd like to apologize to you guys because I told you last week that probably until the end of the week I would make a video, but I'm not really sure if you can tell, I still am a bit sick. I got sick and I'm still a bit sick, so that's why I put off making another video. In any case, in this particular one, this is something that I wanted to cover for a long time. I did something similar to this video, which was like things to consider before moving to Portugal, in which I approached several problems that the country has, mainly like due to its high taxes, amongst many other things. But today I want to mention some things that I haven't mentioned to you guys before, and especially if you are not Portuguese, the information that you might have is not so accurate or it's not so complete. So I'm doing this video also because for many years, even up until today, I still get a lot of people asking me, Andre, I would love to move to Portugal, you know, I would love to live there, should I do it? And you know, my honest opinion is no, you shouldn't. I don't think anyone should, with just few exceptions. Allow me to tell you, for instance, if you're German, Dutch, or Belgian, then you might be able to do it because many jobs here, many companies, especially the multinational companies here, they pay like almost double the salary of what they pay local people, Portuguese people, because they're in short supply of these languages, the German, the Dutch, you know. And so with that salary itself, like especially if you're a couple, and then you come here and you earn this salary, like a household with an average salary or combined salary of, let's say, 3,000 euros a month, you know, it's manageable. It allows you to have like a fairly comfortable life in Portugal. Although the growth expectations inside of these companies are not so promising, because beyond the jobs that require you to speak these languages, you don't really need to speak them. I don't know if you understand what I mean. So I would like to start off by saying that, I was about to say unfortunately, but no. I managed to get a job position in a company starting on Monday. So I'm gonna have to be, I was expecting to be making videos more regularly, but I don't think that's gonna be possible. I will do every now and then, I will release one, but it's gonna be very, very challenging. In any case, let's start this video. So the first thing that I should tell you guys is that how could I describe my own people? How can I describe Portuguese people? Now, I'm going to generalize here. Of course, there are exceptions, but I will explain my standpoint and why do I feel like this. I think that most Portuguese people have a very dumb mentality. They're forgetful, they're lazy, they're acceptant, and they're dumb. And the reason why I tell you this is nowadays with the internet you have access to all sorts of information, and despite what happens in Portugal, people have a tendency to be forgetful. Like let me give you an example, one of many. Like about 2-3 weeks ago, like one of our ex-prime ministers who was being judged on over 30-something crimes of corruption for the past 7 or 8 years. All of a sudden, like you know, they managed to change the judge to a judge that was, well, you can judge as you want. And in a single day, he managed to reduce the crimes. This guy was being judged from 36 to 7 crimes or 6. It was a big scandal, everyone complaining, la-di-da. And now, 2-3 weeks later, you don't hear anything about it. And not just this, but you know, if you look at other countries in Europe, like France, which is not so far away from here, the government tries to increase the age of retirement by 1 year, and you have people out there in the streets, like making noise, and and the government eventually has to back down. In Portugal, it doesn't matter. We already have one of the highest taxating countries in all of Europe, and we're still bound to be taxed even more. And you don't see anyone in the streets making noises. That's why I say people are lazy, dumb, and acceptant. And why am I saying that they're dumb and acceptant? Let me tell you. Because in terms of politics, over 60% of the Portuguese people, they don't vote. They don't vote. And the ones that actually do, the majority of them vote for socialists. Now, here's why I say that, people have a dumb mentality. Because it doesn't take you much effort to go on Google and write, does socialism works? No, it doesn't work. That's why it's pretty much gone from the entirety of the world. And the countries that do have a government which is made out of socialists, like Venezuela, are countries that it might be good for tourists, kind of like Portugal, but to live in, fuck that, no. Absolutely not. Now, as I mentioned before, like this country, it doesn't, it lives out of taxes. It doesn't promote the growth of new business. It doesn't promote the growth of exportations, of national production. The only way that this country seems to live is just by taxing everyone. Like, they brutally tax companies here. They brutally tax individual taxpayers, and it's absurd. So it's like it's a vicious cycle. They spend more every year, and they keep increasing taxes so that they can afford to pay for their lifestyle. And aside from the absolutely insane level of corruption that exists in this country. Also, let me tell you one thing as well, and this is applicable to every company that I worked for since I'm here. And I started working pretty early in my life, which is there is no rewarding system in companies here, which means, like, if you look at companies based off in other countries, every year you have a evaluation system, meaning if you manage these, if you reach the goals that were set up by the company, then you will get a higher salary. Your salary, you don't get a bonus that year, okay? You might get a bonus, but you will also get a salary increase. Here, it doesn't really matter. Even if they give you a bonus, you might be working for the same company for the past 10 years, and your salary will be exactly the same. Maybe you'll get 50 or 100 euros more, which here people seem to think it's a lot of money. But if you look at other countries, developed countries, 50 euros or 100 euros is nothing. I've been to New Zealand, 100 euros there is like 5 euros for the rest of the world, especially here. And then I hear many times companies complaining that, people don't stay in their companies and they spend too much money in recruitment processes, which is a lot of money. I do give them that. But why do you think people don't stay in these companies? They don't stay because these companies give you the lowest salary possible with the highest level of responsibilities. So, like, if you're earning, like, let's say 800 euros or 900 euros without tax, which comes down to 700 something after tax, do you really have that much of obligation towards that company? Do you really have something that binds you so strongly that you won't consider looking for a job elsewhere? Let me tell you something. The reason why an airline like, for instance, TAP is so good, it's because it gives you a salary, a lifestyle that most companies don't give you. And that's why people want to go there. You have thousands of people applying every year whenever they have a recruitment process open. They have thousands of people wanting to apply because they know once they get a position in that company, screw it. I don't need LinkedIn anymore. I don't need to apply for a job anymore. Well, now in an exceptional situation they have to because of COVID, but aside from that, So yeah, there's no rewarding system, low salaries, and in the end, what they will save up in the the salaries that they pay for their employees, they will have to spend in the recruitment process. Also, you would expect to, considering the amount of taxes that you pay every month and every year, to have some sort of support from the government. Well, let me put this into your perspective. If you work for a company and you're not happy with, with how the job direction went, or all of a sudden if you're not happy and if you want to quit, if you worked for less than 2 years, you won't get any unemployment money, any unemployment allowance. If you get fired because you fucked up at your work, you won't get any unemployment money. Even if you did get an unemployment money, it's so low that, well, it's kind of useless. It does, however, socialist government benefits people that don't work or don't declare to the government their earnings. Because then you have like kindergartens which will charge you virtually nothing for you to have your kids there. You'll get paid every month from the government and you still have your side money. So it's a system, it's a political system that encourages corruption. Like I mentioned before in the previous video that I made, like things to consider before moving to Portugal, we have extremely high taxes, mainly on the energy department. We have one of the most expensive electrical prices in Europe, and the same is applicable to the petrol. 60% of the final price are taxes put on by the government. Now, people, like I said, are forgetful and they keep voting in the same government that does this. So, for instance, I just been in Austria about a month ago, and the liter of petrol was €1.18. When I came back to Portugal and I checked the price, it was $1.70. Bear in mind that the minimum salary, or the average salary in Austria is 3,600 euros. And in Portugal, the average salary is around 700 something. Already with meal allowance and all that crap. Like I said, we also have, we have a lot of, very low salaries, companies that pay you a very low salary. And let me give you an example of what I'm saying, and this is very frustrating because it reaches a point where it starts being almost offensive. I got contact, I don't care, I'm gonna say it. There are two companies that whenever I get contacted by recruiters and they never mention which companies they're hiring for, I already say, look, if you're hiring for Teleperformance or Majorel, please don't consider me. I'm not interested. I don't even want to hear what you have to offer because I know it's going to be shit. Teleperformance is one of those companies that's in Facebook, it's always showing up with thousands of comments there. Oh, blah, 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 I want to work for you guys, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let me just give you an example of several contacts they've made to me in the past, in which they tell me, okay, for this job, we're considering you for this position, you need to speak 2 or 3 languages, you need to have, I don't know how many years of experience, you need to be able to work in shifts, you need to be able to have days off in shifts. The contract is 3 months contract or something, completely absurd. We don't pay you the 14 months, which normally they pay you here, which is vacation allowance and Christmas bonus. And then it's and in the end, and we will pay you 600, 700 euros a month. I'm like, are you high? I have a fucking bachelor's degree, I worked in many companies, I have a lot of working experience, I speak these languages, even if I'm able to put up with the insane conditions that you're putting, you're just paying this amount. After taxes, I don't know, minimum salary, or 50 euros more than minimum salary, but does that really make a difference? Also, going back again with the forgetful parts of the Portuguese brains, did you know that in the year 2000, there was a big scandal involving pedophilia in a school nearby, in Belém, called Casa Pia, which involved several important political figures amongst other celebrities. Within the people that were involved in the process, true, they weren't arrested or judged or whatever, but you know, sometimes when you smell smoke, it's because something is actually burning up. And in this particular case, 3 of the figures that were involved in this process are figures that 20 years later are the Prime Minister of Portugal, the President of the Republic, and the second figure of the government state, which is the one in the General Assembly that keeps on, you know, telling people like, okay, don't say this, don't say that, shut up, you know, your time is up. And these people are already in power again. So, also just to end up this video, I just want to tell you guys something. Like, we have a socialist government for the past 46, 47 years. And within this time span, we had already three times where the country became broke. And the only reason why it still exists nowadays, it's because of the European Union, because of the funds they give. Every time this happens, they're giving us money. And recently, or a couple of months ago, like the Prime Minister of Holland said that, you know, we will give you the money, but we want to make sure that you're spending it correctly. And the Prime Minister of Portugal was just like bad-mouthing, you know, this country, and even other countries that actually end up helping us. Like, the guy is absolutely insane. You feel embarrassed, you know, for sometimes, like, for these types of attitudes. And let me tell you one thing. We are fooling the European Union in the sense that we're asking for cash, we're asking for money to help save the country. We don't do any changes. And in the end, what happens is that the money that you're going to give, that hopefully, or you think that it will be used to help us or to make our country better, it's going to end up in the pockets of corrupt politicians and friends of politicians. This has been happening for decades on end. It will continue to happen in the future. So all the money that your government saves up, you know, in the taxes that they charge you, which are being used to help us, are not really helping us at all. It will have just a few friends of the politicians, and that's about it. So to conclude, if you're fed up of a northern country, of the cold and all that, and you want to move to a place which is warmer and stuff, in my own opinion, you should, instead of thinking about Portugal, go to the next second best thing, which is Spain. The weather is the same, the prices are cheaper, the salaries are higher, and you know that things will only get better there. Here, time after time, people still vote the socialists. They still have a majority of votes, and I don't know. I don't know what the future of this country will be. I just know that a country is as equal as the people who live in it, and you know, and think and act. Because if you think about it, in theory, the politicians that are in government are put there by the people. So you can almost say that that's the best we got, and that's saying a lot. In any case, guys, thank you for watching this video, and have a nice weekend, eh? Take care.